Turbo duelists. Countdown initiated. Ready, set, duel.
All right. Good morning, guys. Good evening, good night, wherever you are. All right, can you guys hear me? Everything fine? I always have to make sure you guys can hear me because otherwise, I know the background and the audio from the video. Hang on, let me just close the door quick. Okay, so everything good? Yeah, what up, Mello? All right, let me greet you guys real quick. What up, Suave? What up, Doc? What up, Walter? What up, T Group? What up, Ducal? What up, Ducal? What the heck? What up, Hollow? What up, Fallen? Yo, what up, Edgar? What up, Mello? What up, Miles? Good morning, guys. Good evening, wherever you are. Okay. So, yeah. So I want to address the audio situation with the video that premiered last night. Okay. Because when I'm recording, I changed the audio levels of the desktop audio because I normally have those lowered. But when I'm recording, I'm not really I don't have to be concerned about that because the OBS just automatically lowers it. But when you're recording, it doesn't do that. So what ended up happening is I ended up increasing the volume because I wanted to hear the sound effects. Otherwise, they'd be too low, right? They'd be faint. You wouldn't be able to hear them. So I forgot to lower it when I was recording. So that's why there's a bit like of an offset with the recording of the video. But I felt that because literally I spent, okay, so I started working on the combos around, I want to say 11, no, around 8. Yeah, I started to work on the combos around 8 p.m. And then I finished around 11, almost midnight. And then I was like, I'll just edit it now. It'll take like an hour. And then fast forward to like 4:30 in the morning. I'm like, oh my God. That's why I didn't stream yesterday because I was just tired. And I thought I could finish it. I thought I could finish it before like an hour, but no, I was not. No way. And then the day before I couldn't make it. I had to take care of something. Is it Ducalion? Is it pronounced like a K, like Ducal or Ducalion, or is it Ducalion? First time I get to finally catch the stream, bro. I know. I know. For some of you, can you list down what it is your time? What's your time zone? Is it nighttime for you? Daytime? What part of the world are you tuning in from? Get it, tuning in because we're tuners. Yo, what up? What up, Hawez? Okay. Whenever someone tells me and makes a big deal over 40, I'm at the brink. I'm at the brink of something, but I'd rather just not say it. Because I feel that when you want to maintain a 40 card threshold, when you want to limit yourself to 40 cards, I understand you like because I've experienced that where you don't want to go above 40. You just don't want to because aesthetically and primarily because of OCD, right? And maybe justifying it with percentages and ratios, right? Maybe. But as I always have to explain myself, where this is a game of variance, right? It's the game of variance. So you can take that into account to a certain extent before it just becomes a subjective OCD thing where you just don't want to go above 40, right? You can show me the math, you can show me all this and that, right? But ultimately, it's more of an intuitive thing where you don't overdo it. Like, of course, for example, let's say you have like, okay, let's just say, just for the sake of the argument, or just for the sake of the of my argument, let's say you have 3 rows of non-engine, right? Let's say these 3 rows were non-engine, right? And then these 2 rows are just engine. Okay. So, of course, it's obvious that you'll see more non-engine than you would your engine, theoretically speaking. Okay. But it's a game of variance, right? So that means that you'll sometimes draw an all-engine hand. You know, it's not likely to happen based off your ratios and percentages, right? It's not meant to happen, but it will. And because I played the game long enough to understand this, is that if it makes sense, if it has reason within, if it's justifiable within reason, then it should be okay, right? Which is where you start getting to the point where you get really peculiar with cards you should consider and cards you should cut, and what cards you consider to be essential and not, right? Like, for example, this is one that's always going to be one that's considered as, oh, is it a staple, is it not? Right? Because it doesn't contribute to your starter or your extension, or requires some sort of resource to be able to become an extender, right? But it's the variance that it can facilitate based on any given situation. Because in theory, what you want to do is just see your starters and your extenders. You don't want to see trail. You don't want to see this, because every single time you do see it, it's not great because you can't do anything on its own, right? But it's different now because illumination used to be able to give you Stardust and then that's it. But now illumination becomes better because it's another foolish, in the sense that foolish is a utility card which can give you access to a lot of your engine, and primarily it's going to be Stardust, because then now Stardust can search your fellows, right? Whereas before it wouldn't do much after that. But now that it can give you access to a 1-card combo, right? This is alone, it's a 1-card combo. It's your extender, as I mentioned earlier, where this is your primary starter. Your extender is going to be Stardust, Tuning, Foolish, or Illumination. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But because because I'm so used to playing a card like Trail because of its utility, it's why I play it. There's some circumstances where it can be extremely useful compared to not having it at all. I feel that the amount of times it says lost me a game compared to the amount of times it's won me a game, it's won me way more times than it has lost me. But most people just see the times that Trail has caused them to lose, that they just cut it, even though it's on the positive side, right? And that's when you have to be less analytical, in the sense that it's more of an intuitive thing where it can help. It is useful. It's not redundant, right? It's always going to have an applicability to be utilized within the gameplay or within a game state, right? Because after all, it is an extender, right? And now with the new cards, right? With this card, Trail becomes even better because this triggers Trail, right? This triggers Trail. And the only way we would be able to trigger Trail was with Stardust or SD, right? But now we have another way to trigger Trail, which changes things. It changes things a lot, right? So I think that she is just a valuable resource in the sense that she is she's essentially 3 monsters, right? You summon her off Illumination, that's her first body. She gives you a token, her second body, and then she revives herself, a third body, right? What other resource does that? Like what other like it doesn't start your combo. That's fine, but she's resourceful, and that's why she's good, right? Because you can access her through engine, and I think these simulators warp people's perspective on this card because of the way the algorithm is. I'm pretty certain, because I've made a meme about this. I've drawn this card way too often, like it should not be the case where I see this in my every opening hand. And you can blame the simulators for that because it amplifies how much of a non-starter it is, right? And majority of the time when you play this card, you'll always see it. So it amplifies the whole perspective of, oh, yeah, I don't like seeing this because it doesn't really help me, right? So of course you're going to have a negative notation on this. Like, okay, yeah, I always see it. If I see it, it doesn't do much, right? And that's I feel like that warps deck building because then you start cutting cards that are quite essential that seem like they're not. And because I understand it, because I played Master Duel for like, oh my god, for like a while, right? So we've tallied, and there's data, there's proof that you will see these cards more often than you should, right? Except for me, I see it in real time as well, like in IRL. So I guess maybe it follows me, but the point is that you will see these cards more often than you should, and that will warp your perspective on this card, whether it's essential or not. And what the fuck? How the hell did I get into this fucking thing? Okay, so I know how Wes mentioned about 40 over 40. Yeah, over at 50. I don't know how I ended up here, but we're here already. Anyways, yeah. So oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah. So going above 40, right? And because we have so many starters, it's okay to go above 40. And I think that I appreciate the variance within the cards added to the deck because think about it. Okay, so variation. It means different types, right? You have different options, right? It's not just a variation in which you start with. It's just allowing you to have pivot options and not be streamlined. Because when you go cookie cutter and you streamline it, and you don't have the card variation that you attempt to fulfill consistently, you can pivot depending on which part they will interact with you, right? And because having cards like Trail and Illumination, it allows you to have that variance where it's something that can be applicable depending on how they interact with you. Hopefully you're following along. I'm just trying to like it makes sense in my mind, but I'm just trying to like depict it, you know? Yo, what up, Brody? All right, let me read some of your messages. Okay, so yes, a lot of you guys are night owls. Yeah, most of you are night owls here. Canada, 5 p.m. That's not so bad. 7:10 is that p.m. or a.m. Duke Lion? What up, Mystic Rickson, Central European Standard Time. Rage quit 1 a.m. bro, night owl bro. I really got that. I think I have to start streaming at nighttime because a lot of you are really like. But then who knows? Maybe you guys won't watch because you'll be busy doing something else. So maybe it's like you know, I don't know. Like you don't have to explain it no more at this point. It's foolish if people can't understand your point on the 40 cards account. No. But okay, so this is a thing, Mello, where okay, the thing with content creation, you have to just be there and constantly just be accessible, right? Because the ones that watched before, you guys understand. You guys understand me already. But because there's going to be new viewers that are going to keep coming, I have to account for them as well, right? Because otherwise they'll be lost with the entirety, and they'll be like, okay, yeah. Which is why it's like a thing where it's a bit toxic in the sense that okay, so I'm gonna compare the two, right? Because you have people that are aware because I've explained it, right? So it's for you guys. You already know. You're when the moment I start on going on that rant, you guys are all aware. Okay, here we go again. But for those that don't know, because even up until now, a lot of people are still completely unaware about the SD line. They're like, "What is the SD line?" They're not aware that you can make this spatter with Trail and Pro Token and Accel Synchron. There's so many people that are yet to be exposed to these niche things that we're like most of us are well aware of, right? but because you just have to be accessible as much as you can to allow people to just understand what it is that you're coming from, because otherwise they're going to be completely lost at what you're referring to, because they don't know the fundamental premise that we're not abiding by the 40 card rule, right? Because we're not a meta deck, so we can't abide by the same blueprint. We can't abide by the same cookie cutter. Because you could, like I mentioned earlier, I think last week, where I said that you can abide by the cookie cutter blueprint, where you just simplify as much as you can, and just go, okay, what does Yumi have? How many starters does Yumi have, right? And then you compare and contrast. Okay, how many starters do I have? Okay, but the quality and starters that they have is far better than possibly the one you're trying to implement the blueprint onto, right? For example, if you saw the example I was showing, that if we open up alt engine within the nuke support with the junk Meister and the junk armor, like we played through Imperm, Ash, Valor, Nibiru, and then we still had junk summon. So the difference between that and Yumi is that Yumi will force 2 interactions with a singular card, right? Whereas we do that towards the end of our combo, but we need to get to the end of our combo, in which is where we start out resourcing them. But because a meta deck can do that initially, is where it tends to leave the rest of the decks behind. Because usually, regarding any deck, any rogue deck, if you can get to like step 3 of your combo, odds are you're going to out-resource them, because they probably interacted suboptimally, and that's kind of what you're banking on with the rogue deck. So by the time they have Ash, it doesn't matter. You knew that if they Ash your starter, you wouldn't be able to have all the resources that you just accumulated, right? Whereas with Yumi, it being a meta deck, one singular card demands multiple interactions. Because, for example, right, you go Cup C, right? You go Cup C, effect, you negate it. It depends if you have Ash or not. It depends if you have an abundant amount of hand traps. Let's say you have Valor, Imperm, Ash, right? You would have like most likely Imperm this because you knew you had Ash for the Cup C, the one that searches. This one, right? So you go, stop this. Okay, that's fine. But this one card converts into the Link. The Link then converts into a double body, assuming you don't stop this, right? Because if you don't stop this, they're going to get the field spell, right? They're going to get the field spell. The field spell is that going to convert to this, at which point they are going to go for the Yumi, right? So one card is forcing out 2 interactions, whereas with us, we have to resolve a few lines in order for us to get to that point. And that's why you kind of can't implement the same theory in every given deck, because a meta deck is far superior than the previous decks, because obviously the rogue decks, the tier 2 decks, they're going to be playing with older cards, so they're not going to be able to do whatever this newer cards are doing, right? That's just an example to kind of give you like a bit of perspective. And hopefully it made sense, because if it's not making sense, then I'm just not doing my job right. All right, let me quickly just run down some of your messages, because I completely just went on. I was locked in, bro. Can never forget the horse. People who argue over 40 cards do it mostly following Owen's theory without even knowing that the main point of this theory was that as the game prints better cards, decks will go over 40. Yeah, I know, but most people just don't understand that, right? They'll use math, and then they'll take the deck that they constructed based off that math, and then get cooked. And then that's where I pull up with how's your math treating you? Because it's so funny. Because like I understand you can abide by that to a certain extent, right? Because of course you have to be within reason, of course, right? You have to understand that you can't just play like a bunch of bricks, of course. Like which is why the assault mode deck is still a bit of an issue for me, because you require to play like this card. You have to play the Stardust, right? So like within reason, you have to understand that you can't just play whatever you want, right? There's a limit, of course. But when you start getting peculiar with it, and like saying, "Oh no, it's a 5% chance." Get the fuck out of here with a 5%, dude. I see this card in a 60 card build more than I should, like more than I should, but I do. I'm not saying that everyone does, but I'm saying from my experience that I see this a lot. So I'm gonna be inclined to be like, oh, okay, it's not that much of an issue, but because we're playing a higher card count deck, you have to understand that basically you're main decking cards that you would typically side deck because you're scared to go above 40, right? That's usually how it is. If you feel that you're gonna go above 40, you either tend to prioritize certain hand traps because you know, oh, I'll just side this. But we have basically our side in our main. So you don't need to put it in a side. So the side can be something else. And when people make the argument of, oh, how do you see your side? Well, I have this in the main deck because of variance. Because sometimes there's going to be times where you have draw versus the worst matchup. Sometimes you have draw versus the best matchup. That is variance. Sometimes you have imperm versus the worst. Sometimes you have imperm versus the best. That is variance. But the fact that it's an option to be able to pair it with that matchup is why you do it, right? Because that's just how I view it, right? Because I main deck draw even though it's bad against certain matchups, right? But because of our higher card count deck, because we want to implement certain cards to offset the deck's consistency, right? You have to view it that way. Because if you don't have that particular card, then you start noticing the issue that people are bringing up. How do you see your side deck? Well, of course, theoretically, in a higher card count deck, it's gonna be harder for you to see Ash to stop the Charmy, of course, right? But you have to offset that in a different way. Whereas this is applicable in the same regard because this can fulfill something similar that Ash does, right? And then that's how you generally have to view it, and not just view it off of, oh, if I go over 40, I won't be able to see this. Well, you have to find a way to kind of make it work, right? If you're a meta deck, if you're a top tier deck, you're not going to be able. You don't need to do this type of things because you're efficient. Whereas a rogue deck, we have to build unconventionally, right? And that's the issue that most people find, where they want to implement a meta blueprint onto a rogue deck, and it's not working, and it's still keeping it rogue, or it's still keeping it at a lower caliber. Then you're wondering why. Well, it's because you're trying to fit what meta decks are doing into a deck that can't do that, right? And I'm not saying it can't work. I'm just saying most likely it won't work. But you could try it, because there's been a lot of times where a suboptimal deck does well when it shouldn't do well. And that's the variance I'm talking about. But yeah. Yo, what up, Polar? Oh, hang on, let me hop in. Let me hop into the voice chat. Hang on. Hopefully all this is making sense, because in my mind, it's making sense. So let me know if it doesn't make sense to you, and I'll try to like make it make sense. Trail has been more versatile with the new support now. I can't see myself. Yeah, exactly. Yo, what up, Legendary? Oh yeah, okay. So I'll get to Small World in a bit. Let me just go over some of your messages. If your deck simply has more than 40 good cards, you will need to play more than 40. Exactly, right? Because why are you doing that to begin with, right? Why are you? Hang on. 29, 30. 29. Okay, so why would you include a multitude of cards that do particularly the same thing, right? Essentially, why would you do that? Okay, let's take Yummy. Because Yummy's is the best deck right now, right? So let me try to use that as the example, as a primary example. Okay, so we pretty much all know how to interact versus Yummy, right? Which is why it can feel a bit compare hand situation, right? Because there's no variance involved. The way you would out-resource them is if you have the low variance chance that you'll draw into surprise, right? Or you have access to a name, or you don't have access to a name. But for most players, they know exactly how to play around Yummy. They know how to play. They know when to interact. Of course, you stop the Yummy, right? You try to stop this guy, and it hinders them drastically, right? But because you know how to anticipate versus his deck, it feels very stale. Because it's either you have the Ash or you don't have the Ash. Because you know that Imperm is not going to do anything. You know that Vader's not going to do anything. You know Droll is going to do fairly little, right? It's not going to do much. So if you don't have those specific cards, then you feel like you've lost. Because you have basically redundant and irrelevant cards or interaction versus that matchup, right? But because you're implementing the variance aspect of the game in general, is how you can capitalize and out-resource them, because they will be interacting at the wrong time, right? That's something that rogue decks can exploit. And the moment you start taking that away, you become very predictable, right? You become very predictable, and then you're trying to mimic what the meta deck is doing, but at a lower degree. But why would you do that? You have the obscurity on your side, right? Like, why would you do that? Like, that makes no sense to me. Like, why would you take away your strength? The obscurity is your strength, because they don't know what you're doing, right? If you try to match a meta deck card for card, you're gonna lose, right? So you need to pivot. You need to use your strength against and exploit it, right? Okay, I gotta just timestamp these things. Is there a world where you can play dominance cards? Nah, we can't play dominance cards because we have so many different attributes. Ant sets the mood. What the hell, Somnus? Get out of here, bro. You can go and take your Ant for a walk. Yo, what up, mail? Is that mail? Like mail? Like mail? Like mailbox? Mail gaming? What up, bro? No, this is something I was testing. I was testing this last night. I was just going over theory, and I'll get to this. I'll get to this in a bit. A card for me that is hard for me to take out of my deck is Arriving Light. Okay, that's different. Arriving Light is okay. Now this is a brick, bro. Like this is the definition of win more. Like, unless you're dedicating the deck specifically to the Stardust Bystial variant. Okay, I can see why, but you have to compromise where you can't play other cards that you usually would, because it compounds, right? You're like you're adding bricks to already a bricky deck. Hang on. So let's say, because this comes along with double brick, right? This itself is a brick, and I don't want to hear, oh, but sometimes it can. No, that's not what we're trying to hear. We're trying to hear, what does it do for you, assuming you draw it. Right, so these are the bricks that you have. I mean, let me just take this out real quick. I'll take this out. Take it up. Okay, so that's 2 bricks for Arriving Light. Like, of course, once you consider this, you have to consider Brotar, you have to consider the wills, right? But then you're like, oh, but what if I just play these 2? But then it's like, is it worth it at that point, right? Is it worth it? Because you're like, the way this resources your opponent is by getting access to Brotar, getting access to the Lubellion, and getting access to your Bystial stuff, right? That's how you capitalize. Because otherwise, like, yeah, getting this guy is cool, but getting a Lubellion with a Beast or a Regain is even better. So then it's like, oh, you have to contemplate, well, what do I cut? Because obviously you're not gonna want to see this and Chick. You're not gonna want to see that and you know, like, so you have to compromise and cut certain things that are engine requirements or take choices. Right, you have to make a choice, because if not, then you have to go above 60, and then you have to have cards that can boost consistency while increasing the deck's count, right? Because you don't want to see this, especially together. You don't ever want to see these together. That's like the worst. That's the worst. Yo, what up, Quasar? Bunch of much. Busy watching Die Hard. What the hell? Yo, what up, Nightmare? If this is for TCG, is there a world where we go second? I mean, it is a possibility. You could attempt to go second. Cause I guess take the approach of RDA. But RDA is a bit different, because RDA is more of a mid-range deck, right? So it's built off attrition. Like, it's not meant to be overwhelmingly insane where you just build your board, but it does enough to get you by and get you to the point where you're trading one for ones, and eventually your Gaia and your Scarred get you ahead, right? Whereas this one, there's no grind game. So that's why you have to be so consistent, because you want to make sure that every card variation can get you 2 combo and be resilient enough to push past. Because if that hand fails, you lost, basically, because there's no grind game. I just worked till whenever and can't watch the stream while I work. Oh, okay. This is better if we started streaming earlier. I think we all would have been at work. Yeah. Yeah, let's say it's all sure, but it'd be a good thing. 8:20. Couple night owl, yeah. I mean, to be fair though, it's like if we're going by scientific health, it's not good to stay awake. It's not good to stay awake. What up, Ramirez? Broda is the deck list as shown on screen. Yeah. What up, Chibo? Or Chibu? What up, Smolder? I know. I'm curious to know what got you into playing and being known as the Synchron guy. I personally just really like the whole concept of the deck. Okay, well, okay, honestly, hang on. Let me just recite something. Story time, bro. Story time. I think. Oh, what was it? What was it? I think it was because I didn't. Okay, because so the way I got into Synchron I didn't get into Synchron because of the anime. It was the other way around. I got into Synchron first, and then I watched the anime. So it's like, and then it kind of resonated. It resonated with me more because when I started to build Synchron, I was like, okay, so you have to mix this with other things. Because if you guys, for those of you that played the game way back when, before like decks were based off archetypes, right? Like, of course, there was a few archetype decks, but majority you had to like mission mash your decks, right? Like mostly, right? And then just as of recent years, like within the last, I guess, 10 years, yeah, within the last decade, you had everything was basically like archetypes and stuff. But of course, you did have like here and there where it was like, to my knowledge. But back then, you had like mission mash things right together, and fundamentally, that's how I would construct decks. I had to make sure that they had synergy with each other. That's where 40 cards actually mattered, right? Because you played one of cards, you played two of cards, and that's where it actually mattered. Whereas in modern Yu-Gi-Oh, you can't really implement the same logic from back then, because now you have you have so many cards. Like right now, the way they fixed the issue of consistency to ensure that you were able to do that frequently is you have cards that search the card you want, right? Which is why draw has been such a problematic card in modern formats, and why people think that this should be banned, where it's not meant to be banned. It's meant to mitigate that exact situation, which is what Charmy is meant to be doing. It's meant to mitigate the overwhelming push that decks are being able to produce, right? So with that in mind, I was like, let me try to build it, because I remember that a friend from back home, because I'm originally from California, and I moved to Australia, okay, and he would show me like at some junk deck like this deck. I was like, what is that? What is that? I knew it from the structure deck, and then I was like, huh. And then some of the things that he was doing, like at the time, there was like this hyper librarian doppel thing that I remembered he was doing. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And let me try to build that. And I knew that at the time, like, because back then content creation wasn't like as big, whereas now everything's everywhere. If you want to know about freaking what's a deck, what's an obscure deck that just people just don't know about. Let's say you want to learn about fucking. What's an obscure deck? I'll give you an example. What's an obscure deck that you like to yourself, like, oh, what the hell is that? Yo, what up, Accel? What up, Wes? Yo, what up, MCF? What up, Dennis? What up, Kevin? Should I just scroll past a lot of your messages? What up, Sonic? What up, Zachary? Good morning, guys. Good evening. Yo, what up, Race Club? Yo, what up, Daniel? Anyways, okay, so to the point. You have access to infinite knowledge now, right? Because content creation is everywhere. It's just people getting stuff out. They want to be the first. They want to be, but I showed this cover first, and they want to be known as that particular person, right? So, yeah. So, at the time, there wasn't that much insight on how to build that particular deck, and the list I came across, they didn't seem right. They didn't seem like they were optimized, right? It was very tunnel visioned. It was in a vacuum. It was built within a vacuum. Like, okay, yeah. Which to an extent you do have to build that way, right? Until you have to consider the meta, the current format, right? But yeah, I think that's where it was, because I started to build upon that and just started meshing things together, and I was like, oh, this is fun, this is cool, and then I would be doing pretty well with it, right? Before I actually won my first regional with it, I was going local, I was doing pretty well, because I noticed that you kind of had to abide by a different approach. And that's where I started to develop the obscurity of things, of variance, and being okay with not streamlining a deck in a certain way where it was doing the exact same thing over and over again. Because if you guys remember, the deck profile is still there. If you want to go watch it, this was in 2016. All right, so it's years ago. So I understood that variance is a very thing, and a very real thing, and I was getting comfortable with it. Of course, variance is the reason why people get sacked. I got sacked. You lost because your opponent got lucky, or you won because you sacked your opponent, right? And I think that was like the biggest turning point in the way I was building decks, because I came from the whole perspective of 40, 40, 40. It has to be 40. If I go above 40, that 141st card is the reason why I lost, right? So I was dealing with that. And my OCD was taking over, and I kept restricting myself and just keeping it under 40, and I feel like that was hindering a lot of potential variance that now it's like a very known thing. But this is something that I was considering way back when, right? Within reason, of course. Not every deck can apply this logic or this concept, but yeah, so that's basically where it stems from. So I started doing well with it, with different obscure theories and unconventional theory of deck building, right? And then I was like, oh, this is pretty, and then I was having fun. I was actually having fun, and I wasn't like really bored, because like when you play meta, you have a different type of fun. It's a fulfillment that you are capable of functioning at a high level, but in a different regard, right? Because a meta deck is basically far superior than everything else. So let's say you need to go X2 to top, right? And let's say within a regional, you'll be facing against a lot of rogue players, right? A lot of rogue players. So obviously you're playing a meta deck, you're going to be far superior than they are. So beating them is not going to be a problem. It's once you get paired up against a meta deck versus the meta deck, that's where you have to consider, okay, how do I get the edge of this? Because I know that we're playing the same deck. He knows my deck, I know his deck. And it started becoming like a compare hand situation, which is what I was referring to earlier, where it's not that fun because you can anticipate, right? But you get a different fulfillment because you do these subtle interactions that cause you to win. Whereas with the Rogue, you have a more impactful interaction, because you're constantly with anxiety whether they negate that particular card, that you know if they interact here, I lose, but if they don't, I win. And you have this elevated sense of anxiety that amplifies the experience, right? It makes you feel good because you're like, dude, like, oh my god, if you knew that if you stopped this, I would have lost, but you didn't, so I won, right? And you have that to a certain degree when you play a meta deck, but not as much because it's very telegraphed. You know what it is, you know. But you do have that aspect as well. But with the Rogue, it seems like you have it more often because you knew that you're already odds are against you, right? So that's what makes it fun, right? But the moment you enter that realm of a rogue strategy, you have to understand that you're at a disadvantage. So your technical play has to be on point, meaning you have to know exactly what the meta decks do. Otherwise, you already lost. Because if all you do is know your deck, but you don't know their deck, how are you planning to construct your rogue deck and optimize it to counter their deck, right? Because you already sorted your portion, which is understanding your deck and understanding the fact that how you can capitalize, but you still don't know how to interact properly. Let's say the best deck doesn't care for Imperm, but you have Imperm in your deck. You just wasted a slot. Like, why would you do that, right? And that's going to make it even worse for you, right? And yeah, just building off of that, just stemming from that, and then just being able to unconventionally build in a way where you still have to abide by certain Yu-Gi-Oh logics, right? Like fundamentals, I guess. But for the most part, I guess the freestyle of it, the freedom of being able to just mission mash things together. Because you have to understand as well is that Rogue requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, and most people don't have that, right? So it's like, why have the headache, right? Just get him in a deck. But then you have that same thing where the problem is the problem is the solution, and the solution is the problem. Most people get bored of meta decks quite fast, right? What happens? They attempt to play a rogue deck. They can't figure it out. They go back to meta. And it's a constant loop, right? Which is something that's, I wouldn't say, I guess I wouldn't call it a problem, but I would say I was just pointing something out, I guess. Okay, just put like a 1 if it makes sense. If what I'm saying, just put ones in the chat if I'm making sense. Put a 0 if I'm making no sense, and then I'll call you out. I'm kidding. Just put one in. I want to know acknowledgement. I want to know if it makes sense. And if there's holes in my I guess argument, point it out. I'll try to explain to it. This is crazy because all this came from why did I start playing Synchron? But yeah, if you want to get to the point, yeah, that's basically how it is, and that's how it came to be. Okay, awesome. So a lot of you, okay, is it making sense? Okay, awesome. I'm not just crazy. You can say anything, bro. No, I'm not wild either. You know, you gotta within reason, within logic, right? Let's go spaghetti. Yeah, so yeah, that's basically it. That's the whole reason behind playing Synchron, because it was like it's like a core memory for me where this is like one of the first decks that allowed me to be expressive in that way, right? And it kind of like shifted the perspective on the game itself, right? Because like you have to understand when you play a rogue deck, you're gonna be at a disadvantage, and you have to be okay with that. But how do you solve that? Because obviously you're gonna lose more than you win, but when you win, it's gonna feel amazing. Because odds were against you and you won, right? That's where it's like, oh my god, you just like when I won my first regional, that was crazy, bro. Because it just felt so surreal. Because like me myself, I knew I could do it because I felt that. Because like remember, I was a competitive player before with playing meta deck, like you know, I would play Dino Rabbit, like that's like that was like one of the most linear decks, but it was like, you know, that's pretty good. That's the deck that I took the Nationals, and I got so cooked there, man. Oh my god, I was the last round. It was the last round, and I was on a bubble, and I think I was like the last. I think I was on table 10. Can't remember what table 10. Table 10. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was under table 20. And it's crazy because like nationals, like it's crazy, you know. It's like you're there. It's pretty wild. And I didn't know, like we didn't know what each other were playing, but what ended up happening was, hang on, let me just timestamp this. Neither of us knew what we were playing, and this was in Columbus, Ohio. So what ended up happening was there was like, I'm not sure what the place was called, but it was huge, and there's like a balcony where people were meant to go after you're done with your match. And I saw my friends there, and my friends were talking about me because they saw me. Oh, like he's still there, you know, it's crazy. And they were talking about my deck, right? And I guess there was a guy that was friends with my opponent, and he heard what they were talking about because they were talking about the deck that I was playing. Because, oh, okay, he's playing this, like he has a check choice of playing this, and then basically gave away all my stuff. But they didn't know that the guy that was sitting next to them knew the guy that I was playing. So what ended up happening was they saw him go. They're like, oh, okay, interesting. And they saw him go to my opponent and tell him something. And I think what happened was he was giving him insight as to what I was playing, because what I was playing was I think I was main decking. I was making, I can't remember, it was so long ago. I was main decking something that you wouldn't expect in Dan Rabbit. I can't remember what it was, but yeah. But he anticipated that, and it cost me the game. It was game 3, and I was like, so that's why he came, because there's no way he could have known. There's no way. There's just no way. It was just so obscure. It's so odd. Like, there's no way he could have known. And then yeah, and that cost me my top. And I was like, oh my god, it was bad. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I was like, yeah, but that's what's crazy, because I remember that there was another dude. I can't remember his name, but he was well known at the time. This was like the round before. This is the round before. We were playing, and I think he was playing Wind Up, and I'm like, I freaking lost, because this is like Wind Up Rabbit when they were like do the hand loops and stuff. I was like, my god, I better win the dice roll, because I know I'm cooked, because I'm cooked. But anyways, so I ended up, I think he ends up messing up or something, or I interact somewhere and I stop him, and he's like, okay, pass. So then I take game 1. I'm like, oh my god, how I won, because like losing the dice roll was already a nightmare for me. I was like, oh my god, I just freaking lose. I'm like, if I don't, with Dan Rabbit, it's, you can't really crack boards. You need to have non-engine to stop that, right? You need to, Anyways, we get to game 3. We're the situation is, I was playing triple D prison, which is something that most people didn't do. Most people don't play triple D prison. They would play like 1 or 2, right? Because like, why would you play triple D prison? So what ends up happening is he's in a situation where if it's deep prison, he loses. If it's not, he wins, right? I have the 3rd deep prison. He fucking loses. I was like, oh my god, that's epic. So he's like, what? Who plays 3D prisons? Who does it? He was crashing out, dude. He was losing it, to the point where he gets up and throws his chair, and there was like a judge right behind him, and it almost hits him, and then he gets DQ'd. I was like, oh my god, that was crazy. Like, it was like, wow, dude, because that's what I'm saying. When people can anticipate, they lose, and that's what I'm trying to exploit, right? That's the whole point. Because the argument that people make towards that is they'll say, oh, so you're banking on them not knowing? That's the entire point of Yugioh. That's why you sequence your turn in a way where you reserve insight, right? They don't know that you drew the surprise. They don't know that you have the cookie already, right? You're concealing information. That's how you do it. So when people say, oh, so you can't just bank on people's ignorance, that's the whole point of Yu-Gi-Oh! That's what I think. Otherwise, the game would be revealed hand, open hand. That's the point. Yo, what up, Toonzak? What up, thrown ads? Nah. Maybe if I was maybe I would, no way, no way. Exactly. I was just staring at him. I was like, "You okay, bro?" I was like, "I mean, yeah, yeah, they're deep prison." Like, I actually told them, like, "Yeah, but this is exactly why I put it in, because people don't play around it." And he got even more mad. I was like, "What the fuck? Like, what do you do? What do you want me to do?" Like, I'm testing a theory and I'm implementing it, and it worked. Like, it worked. What do you want to do? Like, it worked. Dude, that was in 2012, bro. That was like over a decade ago. There's no way. There's just no way. I'm not even sure he's playing anymore. Convolution of nature event, yeah. Yo, what up, unknown? I've never heard of having 3 copies of a card before. Yeah. No, yeah, like he was aware of that, but like it's just that most people based off ratios they wouldn't, right? Oh, and another thing as well is that I was playing Tour Bus, so like this was like a tech choice that not everyone was playing. Is it this one? Yeah, this card. I was playing Tour Bus and Danarabbit. And I liked it because it allowed me to not have to rely on Pot of Avarice. Because otherwise, you would have to go Pot of Avarice, recycle your vanillas, and do it that way. But I was like, if I can get Tour Guide and get access to this, then I can not have to rely on having the Pot of Avarice, right? And this won me so many games. Like, this won me so many games. Just because I can make it, I can go recycle one of my Couple Zools, recycle one of my Saber Sources, and it was just insane. But the argument was, but if you draw, it's dead. Well, yeah, but I'm risking that. I'm risking that, right? Because I feel the payoff is just far better, right? You made him quit trust. What up? What up? Definitely not Eli or LLG. Is that meant to be El Javi? What up, Jonathan? No. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a bit. We're just going over like some of the, I guess, Yu-Gi-Oh philosophy and so on and so forth, and like why I play the deck the way I do. Do I have a favorite format? I think I like formats in which you can show off your technical play. Like if it's really one-sided, those formats are I'm not a big fan of those type of formats. I like formats like I like when Salad what's the format with Salad was one of the best decks? Alongside with the Thunder Dragon against Sky Striker Orcus. It's when Salad was one of the best decks. Toss? Yeah, I like that format because that's where your technical play mattered a lot, right? It was like the mirrors, the Salad mirrors were just insane. That's where this card was so good. This card was busted in that matchup. Like for those of you that played that matchup or that format, this card was good because it can steal their dweller, right? And that's why you would use the effect twice, right? You would do it on your turn, and then you would do it on their turn because you were scared that if they stole it, you'd be cooked, right? But yeah, I like that format a lot as well. That's where I got ranked. That's when I used to grind Dueling Book, like, and I got ranked 1 twice, which is cool, you know. Yeah. Oh, yo, what up, Shrimp? Oh, thank you, Accel. The RDA stuff looks so good. Can't wait for it. Yeah, the RDA stuff is amazing, man. Jack and Yusei got some insane support, for sure. Yo, what up, Sora? I'm currently still not... I'm assuming you're saying I'm not liking Mitsu Synchron? Is that what you're saying? I can't remember if I asked this, but what was your favorite format to play Synchron? Oh, it would have had to have been... it would have to have been with when I had Levweeder. It would have to be because Levweeder just made everything possible. It gave you the ability to be obscure and 59. Yeah, it would be that. It would be 2016. I'm not sure what format that was, but any format where Levweeder was a thing, because that Quick Draw Levweeder was just amazing. It was just so good. Can you imagine if we have Speeder and Levweeder in the same freaking format? Oh my god, that would make Quick Draw insane, man. That would make Quick Draw insane. Levweeder. Dueling Network. Was Suave? Now you know another guy that's been ranked 1 twice on Dueling Book. Yeah, I used to grind Dueling Book as well. I mean Dueling Network, yeah. Yeah, I have an Edison deck where I play. I use Quick Draw on Leveweeder and Tomato. Tomatoes. It makes Lone Fire insane. It makes Tomato insane because it gives you access to virtually anything you want in your deck. But yeah, Genesis is a format now, so I'm like just going towards that. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about the deck list real quick. Ice Blade. That guy has since moved on though after he got to college. Wait, who are we talking about? Armor can search Wheel, which is nice. Yeah. Yeah, I can summon Wheel for sure. Okay, so just talking about Small World. Okay. Because, we have to consider, we have to address our problem, which is always going to be Charmy. Okay. So we have ways to stop Charmy. We have Ash, we have Carousel, we have Called By, we have Gamma, we have Droll, right? And the way you should view this card, although it's a minus, and rightfully so, it has to be a minus because it can virtually search you anything you want. So it has to come at a price, right? Going second, it's not ideal, of course, but you don't necessarily have to use it unless you necessarily have to, right? But because we have one card starters now, this card can be considered, especially once we get the new junk cards, right? Because this gives you access to another out to Charmy, right? If there is shock on the Charmy, you're gonna get Ash, right? If they do shock on the Charmy, you're gonna get Droll, right? So then you counter Charmy regardless. But it doesn't only search you that, it gets you Engine as well. So if you already have this will give you access to any of your starters, right? And that's why it's here, because we have more cards to counter these cards. And that's why I just increased the ratios of interactions, right? Because this was initially like a Nibiru, but I was like, oh, but I want more outs to our problem, which is going to be Charmy, right? And also, if you want to play around Droll as well, you can search for Gamma, and then just do all your searching before you commit. So by the time you get your last search, Droll doesn't matter because you search off fellows, you search off this, you search off they won't matter, right? So you can do that too. But that's why Small World is in here. But the argument will be going second is not that great, of course. But if you're able to Charmy them, and you have this, that's a different story, right? That's a different story because that means that you have the resources enough to not be depleted so much by this card. Okay, but if you don't have Charmy, then that's different. That's a different conversation because this will supplement the cards you would be using to facilitate this card. Make sense? Gotta address the elephant in the room. Lost contact with him after he moved. Wait, who are you talking about, Suave? What up, Ricardo? Yo, who are we talking about? Who went to college, bro? I'm lost. Yeah. So yeah, that's why we're playing Small World. This is something I was considering, but because I think that although we have consistency on our side, right? If we don't see engine like an on engine and we don't simplify, it makes our our engine a bit fragile. Like because we only have 2 pushes, right? We only have righty at first push. It gets a bait in an interaction. If it doesn't, then that's fine because that means we have more pivot options. But if it does, our only next move is going to be Stardust, right? But because we have 1 card starters, I feel like we can oversaturate the deck with a bunch of non-engine because that's kind of the point, right? That's the whole reason for having 1 card starters, to be able to have a functioning hand with 4 interactions and top deck into a starter, right? That's the whole point. So I'm not sure if I should just leave it at this, leave it at 50. I think 50 should be okay. As I mentioned, you still want to have some reasonable ratios, right? Like he's like, you have like half and half. Like this is not really a starter, not a starter. It only goes well with like as an extender. me playing the Alan Bertian is so worth in mid. Wait, what's that? What is that one? Alan. This card? You would play this in Mitsu? What do you mean? I don't get it. Oh, okay. It's a rank guy, the rank 1 guy. Okay, okay. Okay. But how would you make this? You mean before you get locked? Is that what you're saying? You can go from Mitsu combo into Synchron. Wait, how? I don't see how. Wait, how does this guy get you into Synchron? I'm confused. Just do Mitsu combo with 3 level 4s. Oh, add a spell trap. Oh, that's how you do it. Holy shit, that's cool. But how do you get the sufficient amount of bodies, though? Does that mean you have to play Serpent? Is that what it is? What's the name of that Serpent guy? Wait, hang on. I want to see that. Hang on. Hey, I want to actually see that how that works. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Hang on. I want to see that. Let me see real quick. How the? So you need Serpent, right? What's the name of that Serpent? What's the name of that Serpent? Night Sword? Is it Night Sword? Oh, it's 2 words. This one? Okay, let's see. How would you get to do 3 bodies, though? I'm confused as to how. Yo, what up, Nick? Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, yeah, Nick's true. Nick's right. But I guess the difference is that this can search any spell, right? So I guess that would be the difference. So you require. Wait, hold on. You contribute 1 monster special and 1 level 4 monster from your hand. Wait. You contribute 1 monster. Wait, am I reading the thing? This is it, right? Okay, so you contribute 1 monster special and 1 level 4 Mathemech monster from your hand or graveyard. If this card is exploit, you summoned, you can detach 2 to 4 material. Wait, how do you get that many materials though? That's you need 4. You need 4 to Yeah, in that case, we just go righty, no? Don't we just go righty then? They can just. Yeah, because then we just go with what's the gear? What's it called? Gigant. This one, right? This search is already right. Once per turn, you can add some materials from. Oh no, but these 4 it's the machines, Nick. These the machines, so we can't do it with this. Three mat. Oh, you mean then? Okay, okay, you mean then? Okay, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. No, not now. We can't do this now because you can't even get 4. There's only 3 to 4, so you can never do the 4 detach. 3. I guess you could. Well, how would you do 3? Okay, so let's try to do it with Habikiri. Okay, so is it just a 1-card combo, or do we need more? Yo, what up? What up? What up? D4. You tribute Nas from deck. Just Haba. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let me just take this out real quick, just so we can try it, see if it's possible. Okay, so just one. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. So, okay. So I've never played Night Sword. I never needed to. I never played like any you know. But if this can work, that'd be awesome. Okay. So we tribute 2 from deck, right? So is this where you tribute the serpent and what? The serpent and the Kusanagi? Is that what it is? You search prayers. Okay. Is that to summon back? Okay. Okay, so search prayers instead. Okay. Okay, so Saji searches prayers. Okay, and then we were. Oh, okay, I see. So then you go effective this. You tribute, right? So you tribute to revive, right? What does this add, though? What does this add? Does this add Aramasa? Or what are we adding here? Okay, Aramasa. And then we summon out the guy, right? So we summon out Saji. And then this will trigger. What are we adding here? What is Habikiri add? What are we adding here? Do we add a Mitsu now? Mitsu ritual? Okay. Okay, so normal summon this here. And then what are we adding now? Are we adding... What are we adding now? You mean Murakumo, right? Because they're all Ame. There's which one? There's this one, right? Or Futsu, I prefer Ame. So Murakumo? Okay, I'm okay. Alright, so now we're here. Alright. Oh, okay, I see. No, wait. We summoned it from... How we tributing from deck, though? We... Right, which one? So then now what? Well, I'm assuming it's this, right? Let's do it now. It's this. And then we do the 2 from deck, right? For much from hand. Okay. Oh, then now we go for the Kusanagi and the serpent, right? That's what we do? Okay. Okay, I'm assuming this like this. And then we go chain 1, add back ritual, and this. Okay, yeah, that's how you do it. Okay, cool. And then now we go for this guy. All right, that works. That works. Okay, so we do this. Okay, we got Stardust. Okay. That's funny. Okay, so but we have to use the effect of this, which the payoff isn't speeder anymore, though. That's the thing. We can't go speeder. So let me think. So we don't have a 2 to I guess. So right here, you just go for crazy, huh? There's Meister. Yeah, but Meister won't really get us anywhere because we don't have Speeder, right? So I think this has to be a route where we go for Crimson lines, right? Oh, you're playing with new cards? Okay, yeah, that's different. But if we can use this now, that'd be funny. Because right now, I think we do this. I think for this, we go summon from extra. No, summon from deck. Do this. Let's do this. Yeah, this is where we take over here. We'll get access to this. Right, you know what's this? It's this. Oh, is it this? This will give me back that. Oh, it's this. It's this. Special summon this back. Okay, and then we go. Read that, revive this. And yeah, this might be just a Crimson line, and then we'll get our trap here. Let's go. Okay, so what do we need to dump here? I think it hasn't been on a Stardust, right? Surely. That's crazy. Even this is crazy though, because that means we have access to a Blazar. What is it? One card. That's just crazy. That's not bad. That's a pretty good find. That's a pretty good find, Doc. Okay, so then now we can just go. I think it has to be Stardust. I can reborn it. Right? Yeah, it has to be Stardust. Because then that means this doesn't really do anything for me. Yeah, it has to be Stardust, right? Or draw SMSD. Oh no, we can't go SMSD because we don't have access to illumination to change the level. Oh no, yeah, we can change the level of vengeance. But yeah, no, but I think we just go for Blazar, no, because Blazar will just be. It's just conveniently, right? It's conveniently. So I think it might be these two. Yeah, I think it might be these two. We'll discard this. And then we'll go effect to this. 5 this. And then we'll go into Vengeance. We'll keep Futsu because Futsu is going to be the one that revives all of everything, right? We go Vengeance here. Go Blazar. Hey, that's not bad, dude. It's a shame that we don't have anything to revive off this junk, though. Right? We don't have anything to revive off this junk. Which is, I think, it's just one card. Hey, I don't mind one card. This is awesome. Yeah, it's just perfect. Yeah, then we just pass with this. And then next turn, we just revive. We have double Omni. We can keep reviving with this guy. We have a spot removal within that. And we've only invested one card. That's cool. Okay, that works. We can actually play this right now. This actually works now. That's cool. Yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good. Okay. So that means, okay, so this has to take a slot. What was here before? It was, Ancient Fairy was here before. I guess it's fine. We don't need Ancient Fairy, I guess. I guess it's fine. This is fine. That's awesome. Okay, so if we have Mitsu, we can just play with that. That's awesome. Okay. Okay, so this is a build that we can consider. But what can I cut? What am I going to cut for this? I guess I'll just leave the bell as it is. I think it should be fun, I guess. Just bell that too. I'm actually liking this a lot. So because remember, I don't really play all the other. Like I know it exists, so I don't know everything about this. The only thing I knew about this card is that it adds. Like they would go Mathemech Circular, dump the Sigma, Cersis, add the guy that negates, right? As a material. I never knew that they could do this part. No Meta Marcher and the Mitsu build. Nah, there's no room. And it's not necessary because the only reason you would play it is when you play righty. When you play righty, it makes much more sense. By the way, I decided to cut speeder for when junk support comes out. You can't even speeder in the line we just did. Okay, so yeah, okay, I mean you could do that, but you still like speeder is still an insane card, right? Because that's gonna be like if speeder resolve, you're still fine. Of course, you have this as an option, which is you're cutting variance, right? The variability of you being able to go for speeder and then compared to not, like at least you can still do it. Is why I would still keep it. But yeah, like, yeah, that's one approach. What up, Anhao? This is did I pronounce that right? This is Omega. This is Yugioh Omega. Okay, this is pretty cool. Okay, so this is a variant. This is something that we can really do. That's awesome. Okay, let's move this over here. Okay. Okay, so leading up to the event, my local is on Saturday, so like in 2 days. I have to really think about it because, as cookie cutter and as efficient as it seems, I'm really scared that it's just so fragile, like into a board. Like if I go summon, negate, tribute, then they negate, and it's cooked. So I feel like I need to, I guess, compromise the consistency a bit and play something like this, like whether it be this, the Tengu variant or the Bystial variant. I feel, hang on, let me just 120. Synchron Yummy. Oh, that is Polar's. That's Polar's list. Hang on, let me show you. A single Yummy card is full combo. A single Yummy card is full synchron combo without speeder. I timestamped it. If you want to watch the combo, you can go watch it. And it'll be there. But yeah, this is crazy. And this is what I'm talking about. It's unconventional deck building, right? Like, why would you do this? It's because of for the obscurity of it, right? They don't expect you to play this portion of the deck, right? You compromise a bit of consistency, but you have so many one-card starters that it kind of offsets that, you know? So it's fine. But yeah, so just going back to the because I really like the fact that we can start with this, and there is some applicability for Sornia right now, and because I like every single time I play Bystials, I like playing Beast. I understand the whole concept of being as extremely cookie cutter as possible, where you have to cut this because drawing this 1 second does you know. But we're playing 60 cards, so the odds of me drawing this is not likely, and I appreciate the utility of Lubellion being able to get this or gain access to this. This is why I still play it. But it's based upon a 2-card combo, right? Whether it be this and this, or whether it be these two, right? And you initiate a sequence in which it forces an interaction without you having to invest your actual 1-card charter, right? Of course, you can do either. They're interchangeable, so you can start with this and you can extend with this. But I feel like extending with this is a lot better because if this resolves, this means that your speeder will resolve, right? Let me just show you the combo for those of you that don't know what this does. So it can be tuning or assault. It works either way. I have to show you this as well. Okay, so it can make much more sense. 125. 126. Okay, so the theory is, right? The theory is you do this. You go, of course, if you get hit by draw, you're kind of cooked, but nonetheless. This is the theory. So you don't do that first. You start with this. Because if they ask you here, then that will search you your Stardust, okay? That'll give you your extender, assuming you have this. So don't do it this way. Just do it the other way. Let me just do it the proper way. In case you decide to come back and view this. Okay. So you do it, you sequence it this way, because this can search Stardust. So you bait Ash with this, right? You bait Ash with this. You then go effective this. Right? And then now, whether they ask you here or not, it doesn't matter, right? And this is why you're searching the star in here, because it'll get you access to that. Okay, so now you go for this. You go to SD, and all this sequence is just to bait, right? If it resolves, that's a bonus for you. But it's not your objective. Your objective is to resolve speeder. But this is enticing, so they're gonna want to interact with this. Dumplumelion. You can go into Genix, into the Genix. If you play around Nibiru, you can go for the Genix guy to stop Nibiru. You banish this. You don't use the effect, it's fine. And then you go effective this, tribute that. And because Assault in the graveyard, it'll trigger reviving your Bystial. Right? And then now you're here. Okay? And then you place your beast or your regain, whichever one you feel. Let's just place this. Because if the nib drop you, then at the very least you can revive this. Okay. So now you go for this. Because now if this resolves, then you're resolving your combo. Because now you can go either into Genix, which can stop Nibiru, or you can go for this, which stops your speeder from being interacted with those hand traps. Right? So you can take your pick. You go either way. Let's go for this. Make our synchros unaffected by monster effects. You understand? And then right here, since you haven't used your normal summon, you just do the 1-card speeder combo. And if you want to keep it even simpler, you can just go for Herald. Right? You just go for Herald. And your Herald is indestructible. They can't run it over, right? So that's why it's pretty cool. And then you just go for this. You climb into this, go for your hand. And this will get your junk. There's some lines you can do, assuming you play the trap, which is a bit ambitious, but you could search this, discard this, summon it back with junk. It'll negate its effects, but because this is on the field, these guys cannot be negated, so you'll search the trap and get an accidental Veiler. Alright, so right here, I think we go for, what do we go for here? I guess it does depend. It just depends. You can go, I think you just get Stardust. We milled the Stardust, but like that wasn't meant to be milled. But I think it's just always going to be Stardust, because that gives you access to Illumination. And it's just a good discard, right? And then now you go reduce. You reduce this guy. And then you survive. Whether you want a tuner or non-tuner, depending on your board, right? You do that. And then you just go speeder, right? And you summon out this. You get another assault, because what you want to be doing is, okay, the issue with Synchron and their board is that it gets broken down, right? And sometimes all you have left is going to be your SMSD, right? So having multiple assaults in your deck means that you're always going to have access to a double Omni with this guy, right? So the first one got banished because we used it to revive our guy, but then this guy brought it back, right? Then now the longer the game goes, turn after turn, you're gonna have multiple assault synchrons in your graveyard. So you're going to constantly have double Omni. Because right now, you're going to have double assault. You have double Omni on their turn, double Omni on back to you, and you just keep doing it over and over again, right? And that gives you a bit of a grind with your SMSD compared to just having a single Omni, which can be overwhelmed with a multitude of cards. Even like a more of a mid-range deck. I guess you can do that too. I guess this is more of a mid-range approach as well, right? Because you have the Bystials to keep you in the game and just gradually get you to, it's kind of the point. I guess what we can do here is we can synchro this off because this can be revived by our regain, right? So maybe since I already have an Assault Engrave, maybe I could have summoned something else. And then I could have gone a different route. But yeah, you get the idea. That's the whole point of this variant. Yeah, but without the context of things of how they're meant to be utilized, it won't make much sense. You're like, oh, why would you play in 3 Assault? But that's why, right? Because it allows you to have a bit of a grind when you're just solely on this guy, right? Yeah, so this is something I was considering and taking because you do have your 1-card combos, but you have your obscurity within these two because it's going to be enticing to interact with. Like, oh, do they ash this? Do they stop you when you have SD? Like just things like that. That is the point, Doc. That's the point. You want to be excited with the game. Like that's the point. You want to be excited to play. You don't want to be like, yeah. You want to be excited. Like acknowledging that you're at a disadvantage, but you're trying to mitigate it in some way, whether it be through consistency, whether it be exploiting certain aspects of deck building, right? That's just how I guess it's more of an optimistic approach in the way you, because like whenever someone sees a deck, they'll dissect it in a way where it's very pessimistic. They'll be like, oh yeah, but what if this? And then I just leave the room. I just leave. Because, like, you can only explain so much, right? And it takes a while for someone to grasp the concept of what you're trying to do without them saying something reductive as, oh, look how many bricks you're playing. Of course. Don't you think I consider that? I know that I'm playing these bricks, but they're I was about to say something else. They're compensating for the lack of meta deck, right? Okay. Damn, that was a rush. This entire rush, just oh my god, that's crazy. Okay. Anyways, hopefully you guys are following along. It makes sense. Let me just do this further. Yeah. A lot of bricks build a house. You can't build a house without bricks. Yeah, because like we come to the understanding that okay, yeah, it does suck. Like if we draw this, go in second, you can say, oh yeah, you can cut it. But like because I value the utility is why I'm risking that fact, right? Whereas most people are not willing to do that because they're already agreeing to playing a lower tier deck, so they won't compromise any further. So they'll be like, no, I'll just cut this. I'll put more hand traps, which is valid. You can easily do that. You can easily just go like, okay, I'll just cut this, I'll cut this, and I'll just max out the charmies, right? You can do that. Like that's something you can do, right? But that's preference. It becomes preference at that point, right? Like I just like the fact that I have access to Beast, right? And that's why I don't really like dealing in absolutes because everyone has preferences. Some people are comfortable with knowing that okay, if I do draw this, it does suck, yeah. But I'm okay with that because I know that the likelihood of that happening is not that often, so I'll go with that. But most people don't go with that. They go with the low percentage of oh, okay, yeah, no, it's okay. What's the percentage of you drawing a 1 of in a 60 card deck? What's the percentage? Yeah, it does. No, that's the point. It's going to add attrition to your deck, right? A Synchron deck is not known for its attrition. It's not known to grind. It's known for building its board and ensuring it wins right there and then. But this is kind of more of a mid-range approach where you'll be a bit more interactive, right? And you'll be more obscure in the sense that you don't just lose to an apparent anticipation where they can't obviously know that if they stop this, you pass. You're trying to make it obscure by having this card variation, right? Starlight Road for the win. It's an 8.3 chance that you'll draw it, right? But on the simulator, it feels like fucking 90%. 90% that you'll fucking draw it, bro. Yeah, so, but yeah, like, I'm taking into account, what are the odds of you drawing, like, a starter, right, compared to this? Obviously, you'll draw the starter more than that, right? Because the way you start, oh my god. These timestamps are just overwhelming me. I gotta just fucking do it. Okay, so 134. Like, the odds of you drawing a playable hand is more likely than you drawing a brick, right? So I'm choosing to go by that, right? Because I do understand that if I do draw this, then I better have one card starters with an extender at the very least, right? Because if you don't have a one card starter, that means you need a 2-card combo to play on top of the 3rd card being the extender, which is something that's not ideal just based off statistics, right? But whereas we have our 2-card combo, we have our 1-card starter, and our extender, right? So if we do see this, it won't affect that card variation all too much, right? I mean, when you consider the deck building, it's not good enough to consider the chances of drawing one break in a hand of 5 and 60 card decks. And did I read that right? Hang on. I mean, when you consider deck building, it's not good enough to consider the chances of drawing one brick in a hand. Why am I finding this so hard? Why is that difficult to understand it? Yeah, no. So yeah, okay, yeah. If I read that correctly, you're applying the same logic with the 40 card deck into playing a brick as well. It's just that you're mentioning a 60 card deck, right? It's fundamentally the same thing, right? Like you wouldn't play a brick into a deck. Like why would you? Right? Why would you play a brick into a deck? Well, it's more than just it being a starter, right? It's more of it being a utility because of the access you have to that particular card that will make it a utility card, right? Like, because you have so much access to this, and the way you can access to it can present a situation where they don't anticipate this card, right? They're anticipating this card. So they might not even interact with this, right? So the moment you reveal that you're playing this puts them in an unpredictable or in a situation where they could anticipate. And you're forcing an Omni, you're forcing a back row, you're forcing an interaction, right? And that's what I'm valuing, right? I'm not valuing this as a starter because it's not. I'm valuing the utility that this can provide. More than 50%, it feels like. Yeah, it is. How many starters are there in here? I see 3, 4. Well, you have, okay, so you have Stardust, you have Full Speed, you have Righty, you have Fellows, you have you have this, and you have Rhoda. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16? 16 starters, and then you have your 2-card variations, what would be this doesn't really contribute to your combo, but it still establishes something formidable, right? Within your regain, gives you a bit of a grind game, assuming you have access to your non-engine as well, right? So if you didn't draw your synchron portion alongside this, then odds are you drew the non-engine, right? And vice versa. If you drew your synchron and your Bystials, that means you didn't draw that much of this. And it is interchangeable. It is the chance of pulling exactly one brick, but for example, if you have 5 bricks, you also have the possibility of drawing 2, 3, 4 of bricks, so it gets much higher. Yeah, of course, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Building intuitively, in the sense that I understand the math behind it, and that's what I'm choosing to disregard because it's a game of variance, right? So, for example, let's say your deck is meant to be consistent in a way where it can play past 2 to 3 interactions, right? And Yummy does this probably the best so far because one card can take out 2 interactions depending on the interaction, unless it's like something like high impact, like Gamma, right? Like if the Gamma your Cubsy, you're kind of cooked, right? But like anything else, like Valor, Imperm, Ash on a Yummy card, you're getting out resource because one card can bait 2, right? As we mentioned earlier in the whole hypothetical situation where we broke down the sequence. What was I going with? I forgot where I was going with that. I'll do even better. You have a 9.2 chance to have a dead righties full speed in hand because you draw multiple. What up, Sander? Only one normal summon. Destiny card is 80%. Okay. So what cards give you a good push into hand traps or what cards give you a good push into hand traps or your opponent board? Well, no. Okay, so that's what the charmies are for. They're meant to mitigate that board that they would typically place, right, or establish. If they don't have this, then you have this, then you have this, and you have this, and then into a board you have droplets to be able to counter that, alongside the possibility of having the Bystials serve as an interaction. And so given the format, Yummies are all lights, Mitsu's all light, darks, right? So they can be an interaction, so that bumps up your non-engine, right? So that's generally how you would want to do it. But if you're saying, if you're trying to get an answer between what happens if you open up an all engine with Synchron, well, that's going to be a struggle. Like anything, if a deck that requires you to play a sufficient amount of non-engine to simplify in order for your single card to push through a board, you're not going to do well because you need your non-engine, right? So we're disregarding that scenario because any deck that requires a substantial amount of non-engine to function, going second, they're gonna succumb to the same outcome, which is they can't push, right? Because they're so efficient in the way that they can run so much non-engine. If you don't see non-engine, you're not going to prevent that 2 to 3, 4, 5 interactive board. And what's your Cup Yummy gonna do against that, right? No. Okay, so Neo. Okay, so you're viewing this from a meta perspective. A meta deck will be far superior. We understand that. So that's why we're not abiding by their logic, right? We have to compromise. We have to understand that we're at a disadvantage. Whenever you play a lower tier deck, that's what you have to go through and figure out, right? That's the whole process of the deck. That's the whole deck building process of a rogue deck. I think maybe you came in later, right? Well, yeah, you must have came in later, or were you here from the beginning? Because we went over this. Like you can't compare a rogue deck to a meta deck. A meta deck will be far superior. Like you just can't. Let's see some test hands. Okay, we did test hands the other day. Okay. 145. Okay, let's enable shuffling, go 5. Okay, so you open up a starter, right? We open up our hand trap. If we go second, we have a starter, board breaker. This is our 1-card starter, right? It's a bit vulnerable to a single interaction though, which is understandable. It lowers your deck. If one of these were either righty, that would allow us to push past 2, right? But this is still playable. Oh, this is a better example. So now we have a starter and the extender alongside the obscurity of starting with this first, right? So this is what I was referring to earlier, where we can play off of this first and then extend with our starter and extender, right? That's the whole point, right? So, but first you do this, banish this here. You can activate regain, but like it's just considering the engine portion of the deck, right? So then now you're here, and you're trying to establish. Oh, that's pretty well milled. Okay, you're trying to establish something that can insulate your actual objective, which is what this is doing, right? This whole point, this whole purpose of this engine, right? Because then once you're here, you'll dump your Lubellion, which will give you access to your regain, assuming we didn't draw regain, right? And then now you're here, right? And then you just do the sequence I showed you earlier, right? You do this, and then this is enticing to interact with because how else would they do it? The moment you go for this, like what do they do? Like they're not just gonna go like let you go unhindered. Like they're gonna want to interact with you, right? You do this here, and then we go for this here, tribute this off, right? And whether they bite and hit you with a nib here, then that's fine. Because that means that it shuts off the imperm or other possible interactions. Because then you can continue with this, right? And if they don't, and if they feel that they can hold that interaction for a bit longer, they're just cooked. Because now you just go into Genix to stop the Nibiru. You can go for this to make your Synchros unaffected, and then you just continue from there off. If you go second, you have Charmy, can potentially give you a +1 maybe. You just break even with +1, right? Going first is a bit better because you have access to this. You establish something with a bit of attrition with this because it gives you access to Beast and Regain, which you can opt to not play Beast, but it's because it becomes an interaction is why I play Beast, right? Because otherwise you're going to be left defenseless. But yeah, this works. Okay, so once again, your fallback is going to be Charmy, Ash. If they have Charmy against you, you have your starter here. You have this to bait the Ash, whether they have the Imperm or another interaction to stop this. You know what I mean? And then just continue from there. Okay, this is one of those hands where it's just like a Synchron hand, right? This is something that we're well aware of. If you open up multiple Synchrons, you're kind of cooked, and that's why. Synchron, what do you want to do? So you have one card starter, so you have answer to Ash, to Charmy, and you have answer to like an Ash on this or something. So, I mean, it's a one card starter, right? Okay, so this is one of those hands where Charmy is going to have to carry, but if you go in first, this can still play because it gives you access to, watch, you'll see. You go summon this. Okay, how we summon this, get fellows, fellows, yeah. This is a one card combo, right? We do this. Give me fellows. And it's just full combo, because then you just insulate your board with a Chaos Angel or a Genix, right? And then you just play off of there. Once again, seeing junk is not that great. I'm drawing junk more often than fucking everything else. Yeah, draw would have hurt. What up, Larry? What up, gamer? Can I beg you to do a vid on Mitsu Sync with new support? Yeah, yeah, that's coming up later this week. Okay, so we can play. Go in second. It's a lot better because we have Charmy, so we can draw into more engine, right? So this is a better, but that's what I'm saying. It's all variance, whether you go first or second, but the intent is there, right? That's all you can do with Yugioh, the intention, right? Because otherwise you succumb to restricting yourself with abiding by the 40 card threshold, right? Like, this is the perfect example of how you can do something cool as well. Like, this is an obscure line where you can go special this, tribute that, goes. This is immune speeder, by the way. It's just so good, right? It's just so good. It works. Okay, well, what the fuck is this? Like, these don't count. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the odds of this happening? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, what do I do with this? That's our first brick. That's our first brick. Our first brick. Okay, we have our starter. We have interaction. This will be dependent on whether they are on Mitsu or Yummy, right? But we have our starter here. We have an answer for Ash or Yummy. Chummy, right? Okay, once again, this is awesome. We have our starter. We can start with this first and then extend with this. But that's the whole point, right? That's just to gauge the deck consistency, right? So once again, it'll depend. Do they have the Ash for this? Did we go first? Did we go second? Right? That's all determines your hand. Because you can't just be. If you're strictly viewing it as me going first, okay, then yeah, this is a dead card. But if I'm going second, that's the variance I'm referring to. But that's combo. Combo. If we, this combo. Combo. This is the thing I was talking about, where you have open up these two, and then you have droplet. That's combo again. Okay, our second brick, but it'll happen. That comes with a choice, right? Whether we go second, whether this is an interaction, whether Droll hurts him and we go in Sarnier, right? And maybe we can top deck in something playable that'll fix his hand, right? But that's variance, right? That's the whole point. Combo here. This is Herald. This is Herald into Speeder because this can trigger and then summon. Yeah. This is combo here as well. It'll depend whether we start, right? But I hope it's making sense now. Can this trigger? It has to be special summon, right? This card special. No, it can't trigger. So this is Herald. Yeah, so depending on whether you go first or not, you get a 6th card or not. You draw them. It can be a high impact. I'm not sure. But that's yeah. You have your combo there. Extender. Drawing junk never feels right. Unless you've already played, right? That's the point. Okay, you have combo here as well. Just get you fellows. You go for immune speeder here. Righty. I keep drawing these chick, man. What the fuck? This chick is always in my head now. Okay, so you have the extender here. Like, if they stop this, right? Let's say they stop this, right? Go that. Go back to this. Data search fellows. Right? This will give you junk. You'll get access to this or that. Right? Doesn't really matter. Just get this. Discard it. Or you can discard this, right? Then trigger the chick. And then go speeder there. Yeah, so like it's consistent, right? The consistency is there, and like it's we did have some dead hands, but the point is, it's consistent enough, right? And because of how we have to construct the list is to implement the obscurity of it, the obscurity card, the obscurity in the sense that they're not really telegraphed, because if they know that you're only going to get access to regain, they're going to let it resolve, right? But the moment you made it, you play this, you're like, oh, what the hell? Now it makes it like kind of weird. So is the conclusion already that 60 card is the solution? No, not necessarily. We're just trying out different variants, and we're just pointing out some theory and logic behind going above 40. I was battling Breaking Demons in my Magistus Canaan deck last night. Great combos. Unfortunately, had to play 5 bricks. Yeah. Yeah, I can understand where it can be kind of like, it just I guess the difference is how much synergy your deck your engine has, right? It all depends on that, and that's why I put so much emphasis on that's why I put so much emphasis on pivot points, right? Which is why I said if your card variations don't have a pivot or they don't have synergy with each other, then that's where you start seeing inconsistencies. It's not because you got interacted with, it's because the card in your hand needed the card on the field to resolve in order to have the pivot or create the pivot, right? And that's what we try to do with these decks, where we don't necessarily need that card to resolve. It just forces and it prompts in an interaction, but we don't need it to resolve to make the Stardust be an extender, right? Or have these two cards be, there's synergy within them. No, were you here, Sander, when we were talking about it? How it gives this guy multiple negates to give you a grind game, assuming that you're only relying on SMSD as your single interaction, assuming they broke your board. Mentory engine brick sucks, so yeah, I see the vision though. Yeah, opening junk synchron and chick is what the power of Fel is all about. No, that's exactly. They're trying to replicate the freaking fellows. That's what it is. I think the best way to test the deck is straight up play real games versus the meta. Yeah, yo, what up, Chris? Yeah, I'm gonna do that on Saturday. This is just all theory. I want to make sure that I just because the thing that happens when you abandon or cut a theory short is that your perspective isn't fully formed, right? So you can't fully formulate an opinion based off every single aspect. Like maybe you never considered this approach. So the moment you take this into like the gameplay, you're not applying or attempting to implement this sequence. So you're disregarding the deck completely, right? So we want to know and understand every single aspect of the options that we have, so then we can implement them and see how they can be applied in real time and real gameplay, right? Tootsie cards are still not running on your mark. On your mark. I mean, you can, but like, what would you cut for it, right? Like, what would you? I mean, I guess you can cut the okay if you put on your mark. But okay, so my issue with on your mark though, is that it gives you access to your weakest starter, right? But maybe it's different in this deck. Maybe it's different in this deck because this can fuel your light and dark in a graveyard for this. So maybe it'll be different in this deck. And that's what I'm referring to, right? Because usually this would be a weaker starter, but with this deck, it adds a different element of consistency because it gives you access to a light through this, right? But that's where it's different. And it gives you access to Chaos Angel, which makes it so your nib situation isn't there anymore. Right? And that's what we're doing. That's the whole point. Just a process. Grind game. I'm looking. Oh my God, Sander! Ah! Let me give you this. Hang on, let me give you this. Oh my God! Oh my God! That okay? It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Okay, it's not your fault. It's just what it's just what a jaded Yu-Gi-Oh player would say. I'm kidding. No. So okay, so when I say the most reductive thing you could say is that you just generally view it and condense it to that, but disregarding the complexities within the concept altogether, like the sequences that we can apply, right? Like in your mind, all you're thinking of result speeder, that's it. But there's more than that. It's more of an intricate things that you can do and can be applied within the gameplay, right? And that's something that you just completely disregard and undermine, I guess. By the way, are we considering overtuning in the deck? Yeah, overtuning is insane. This card is insane. We have so many tuners. Like, this gets us access to any synchron that we want. Especially with the new junk cards. It just makes it even better. Like, way more. What's another good hand trap at the moment? At the moment, like, what are the best hand traps right now? Because I know, like for sure we have to play Droll. For sure we have to play Ash. We have to play Bal right now. It's pretty good. Well, we play this because it's good into Draco Tail, and you play this because it's good against the bounce. And of course, Charmy. No. But like the ones that we could play, the ones that we can play. So like we know Purge. I know Purge is good. Like, Purge is insane. In the deck that can play it. Like these are none of these are cards. These are real cards. Let me put my beast back in. Is Impulse? What's Impulse good against? I mean, what's Imperm good against right now? Because it's every time I have it against Yummy, it just seems so bad. Like it just seems so bad versus Yummy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Valor seems more applicable in that sense. Wait. Hold on. But if they're using Charmy, wouldn't you have to control nothing anyways? So then you can use Imperm regardless? I'm confused. Yeah. So like what are these good against, right? Like if you like Meister, is a lot more is a lot better because it can negate Mitsu cards, and this is not once per turn, so you can negate multiple Mitsu cards with this. Whereas if you draw multiple Valor, multiple Imperm against Mitsu, you're just looking at your hand like, why can't you be Meister? Like, what would you do? What are you doing? Hoppier Squadron. This is a hand draw for us. That's our Femina at home. Imperm Valor is really for hitting the Mitsu monsters or double hand trap, Kana Ripper, and Rogue pretty. Yeah. The Emperor is pretty weak in pure Yummy or interacting with the Yummy Synchros. Yeah. Like, yeah, it just felt really bad. Whenever I had this versus Yummy, I'm like, this is so ass, dude. This is so bad. Actually, what am I doing? I had to play Gamma in this deck. Yeah, we need to play Gamma in this deck. Yo, what up, Nick? Yeah, I can't hear you.
You're muted.
Oh shit. Yo, what up, Nick?
You.
Okay.
Don't tell me the one purge is for cross out.
Oh no. That wasn't meant to be in there. It just got there on accident.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
A lot of people have. If you're really scared against Mitsu, you should be siding deltas. Or not-
Oh yeah,
yeah,
siding
sorry.
Delta, yeah. Well, yeah, that's something we consider. But as in for the main deck, I'm not gonna main deck the Delta. 'Cause I feel like
There is
Mitsu
no
is
other hand
fine because
trap.
we're main decking Bystials. Like, I feel like the
There is
Yummy
no other hand
Mitsu.
trap that I would say is worth main decking.
Uh,
There is
how,
no other hand trap
how's
worth main
Nib
decking.
doing right now? How's Nib right now?
Pretty bad. Yummy doesn't care about it. Or as in, I shouldn't say they don't care about it. They have to burn their Herald.
Yeah. What up, Kyo?
So it
It
depends if
did.
you'd rather trade a Nib for a Herald.
Well, I mean, if it's Nib solo, of course, no. But we're not viewing Nib that way. We're viewing Nib with something else because we know that if it's by itself, it's not doing anything. But it's just like,
The problem is there's no pair of hand traps that are good against Yummy that are not Charmies. Unless it's like Impulse, where you go like where you
or
nib.
Bell. You can Bell the revive, and they have to contemplate whether they stop that or not. Because they need to revive. If they don't revive, you know, like what do they end on? Because like it's either gonna replace the droplets, but I just like droplet into a board. Like I just like the
Droplet is phenomenal. Droplet is phenomenal.
yeah.
If your deck can play Droplet, you should be playing Droplet.
Yeah. So there's some things we can chain to. We can chain to like anyone that has search cards. I think you can chain to it. I think it's good. I mean, you can chain this, discard Stardust, discard any of the Synchrons. It just seems pretty good. Like redundant hand traps. Seems fine. But like, if the other, yeah, it doesn't seem like the other hand traps are good, huh? Doesn't seem like it. I mean, we can't play this, so we can't play either. So we'll just be this for us.
If you're really scared about the Draco Tail matchup, people are siding double Cyclone.
No, but okay. So now, so now you're abiding by the statistics of you drawing something. It's more so the intent of it. How impactful is that card? So you'll put it in there to potentially be able to use it. That's what he's following. That's what his intention is, right? Like someone disregarding this because you're playing in a 60 card deck. What are the odds of you drawing it? If you don't play it at all, you're not going to draw it at all. But the fact that you have it in there, it's a possibility that you can draw it. Disregarding the fact that the math says a certain thing, right? That's intuitive deck building. That's the point.
I think you should still probably be siding Lancia.
For who?
Crystron K9 is still very popular. And Malice is seeing more popularity now that no one is playing no one is playing Lancia.
I mean, I get, but there's not that many. Like, this is for Malocus. There's mainly Yummy, Draco Tail, and Branded. Like that's what I'm facing right now.
Contact C. I still think Contact C is really good.
Contact C versus who?
The Draco Tail.
Is that the one that everything is banished?
Yeah.
No,
so they activate the fusion spell. The fusion spell. You use contact. Or no, not contact C. Sorry, retaliating.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, no, I think talking about this one. Is this one? Yeah, this one.
So retaliating T specifically for Synchron is also pretty good because there is that chance, like if it gets to stick on your field, you can just start your turn with summon speeder.
Yeah,
if you really want,
and we can chain block it as well.
Like, no, first action. Oh, I mean, what are you searching with?
No. If this is in the Mitsu variant, this searches Geldogra.
Yeah. Normally it searches Maxi, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, but in the Mitsu variant, you would play this for sure. All double Cyclone is good for is dodging Draco Tail Flame. Oh right, yeah. That's what I do with Droplet. Like they'll try to stop like like when I was playing RDA, they would be stopping my pots or my any of my power spells, and I would go chain this, get it off the field, right? Yeah, what's it called? Cyclone.
Double cyclone. It's being played in Yummy.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when this had like brief play, like way back, like years ago, where I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. It was just like a tech choice. It wasn't like
You know what it's
prevalent.
played in? I know it because I played it. It's played in gadgets. Like Gear Town, like gadgets.
Yeah, we did the Mathemech line. We did it. It actually it does the combo. Like one card gets us Vengeance, Blazar, Omni, Futsu, and yeah, with one card. Not bad. Pretty good actually.
Also, like, I don't know if you're like, if you know, but I'm almost 100% positive Herald is getting banned next.
Getting banned. You think he's gonna get banned?
Everyone is expecting.
Herald is
it.
gonna get banned.
Everyone is expecting because people are sick and tired of stuff bridging into Mitsu.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, that makes sense. That'd be crazy.
All the five Dogmatica players are like, no.
I lost my searcher for the little weak guy that's ripped my extra deck. Yes, I'm liking this actually. I'm trying to remember why I was playing the worm. There was a specific reason. I can't remember what it was though. I think it's fine without it. And maybe I can get away with just playing one. I mean, it seems fine. It seems fine. I might actually just take this one. Just to rip the band-aid off and just try the new support and see how it does. But I really do. I also do like the Tengu variant. I do like this one a lot as well. 213.
So what's funny is I'm noticing there's some Dracotail variants that are their main deck is to play going second, and then their side deck is all to play going first.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we do with RDA as well. RDA is the same thing. Except I think for this deck I'm missing this cards though. Yeah. Hang on, let me
Oh yeah, those cards have kind of gone up in price because Genesis.
Yeah, how much are they now?
I think the ultras are maybe like $10.
Oh damn, they were like less than 5. What a raise there.
The ultra. Oh yeah, the secret rare Crosia, but I don't think you play it.
It's too high. It's too high. Yeah, because I'm liking this one as well. This one's so versatile, but I think I need to find these. So like it just makes Tinky that much better.
Oh, Swen. Swen is like 5-6 US.
Yeah, because I don't need any of the other ones. I just need all I need is this. These 4 cards, the little 4 engine, so just to give Tinky a bit of utility, right?
The problem is trying to find them locally is going to be hard because so little people open Doom.
Yeah, so I think it might be this one or the Bystial variant. I don't feel comfortable playing the pure build at the moment. It just seems too weak.
That's what I've been telling you, which is why I don't like Righty Driver.
No. That stuff is not. No, Red Driver is fine. It's just that we need to add something to it, right? You can't eliminate Ready Driver. You have to have Ready Driver and something else. Because if you take away righty driver, you're just reducing the consistency of like your best combo.
The only concern I have with like the Tengu variant is it again it just continues to play harder into Droll.
What do you mean? All the variants play hard in the drill.
So that's what I'm saying. I honestly think maybe the Bystial variant might be your best shot for the sole reason of Bystials themselves being kind of interactive themselves.
Yeah, maybe.
And they work good against Yumi.
What extra monster when sent searches a ritual? That's Herald, no? Is that what you're thinking about, Herald? Version. Pure version is not bad. I have been testing around with Kamal and my other bros. I have been doing great. I was using proxies. Yeah. Like, I know that this is this is like, I don't like. I might just take it.
And you just if you open up that gamma, it's like, oh buddy.
That's yeah, bro. The gamma is gonna be my savior.
Did you have a
Because
theory on
this is
where you would like max out trail?
with
like-
yeah, okay, so that was a theory because that means that it makes Stardust an even better extender, right? Because at that point, if you already have access to fellows, that means you can search for illumination, at which point you have immune speeder that way, right? And then you have follow up with fellows because you assuming you already have access to it. So they stop this, you hard open this, you already have access to Stardust because there's so many Stardust. There's tuning, there's foolish, yeah. Let me just see. Let me just check the consistency of this deck. I already did it, and if it was good, but let me just double check. Okay, so it's combo, but weak ass combo. If we go second, it's a bit better because we have impermanence, right?
That is.
Okay, we play Rondrol here with this. The Gamma just saving our life. Okay, this is fine. We have combo here with this and the extender with illumination. Combo here. We have extension with this. That's what, 4 for 4? Okay, yeah. That's combo. That's 5. Combo with combo there. 6. 7,
Honestly,
that's combo there.
Every time I see Imperm, it just does not feel good.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay, this will vary. Like, what are we doing with this? So let's just say.
Interactive?
So it's 6, 7. So 6, and I'll just do this.
6, 7.
Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. Okay, so then now. So yeah, so 6. Okay, that's another one. That's not good. Going second, depending if we draw a card to open up his hand. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, but it'll depend whether we start or second, right? So
Wow. Is it possible to just play like an all gas deck? Because that's kind of how I brute force Galaxy Eyes. I just play a full gas, like all gas.
The issue is that we don't have the sufficient amount of extenders to do what we're trying to do.
Don't have enough cards that are of quality to push through with just gas.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to count how many times I brick. Okay, this combo, right, with small roll.
Anyways, nothing yesterday adds a ritual other than Herald. There's the one you can. There's like, what's it called? Like, the one that lets you search like this ritual sage, like the sage cybers. The ritual
Combo, I guess.
cybers guy.
See, in this situation, I think I would want a converter because that would give me a Stardust.
Wait, converter is actually insane. Also with Meister when it comes out, because you can search that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's combo. We're just counting whether we can combo or not. We're just checking the deck's consistency. Okay, so, yep. We are on combo.
Can the deck make Nat Beast? Yeah, you can.
Yeah, we can make Nat Beast. Okay, this works.
It's just a matter of like you just play Rev, and you're pretty good.
Yeah.
You make Rev. With,
I mean, his combo.
Rev.
I mean, going second would be
Yeah.
better because we have Charmy. But if we're going first, we just have to do it this way. Get rid of the Charmy. And then we can bridge into righty with Stardust, right? So get rid of that. Get righty, and that's combo. Okay. So far, so good. So far, so good.
I
Okay,
would
that's
say
combo.
if you want to have that like applicability to play around stuff like Droll and help going second, I honestly think you should main deck Thrust.
Yeah, thrust. Okay, that's the third brick. So out of 18 hands, we've bricked 3 times.
I mean, that's
Okay.
not good odds.
Yes. Good.
It's so funny because seeing any of the actual synchrons in your hand are always bad.
Okay. Okay, so out of 20 hands, we brick 3 times.
20.
The
did
times we
20 hands?
bricked will be determined whether they play into the Charmy or not, or whether we go first or second or not, right? So that's the variance that you have to account for. Okay. What up, serial killer? Hoven can vouch. Green Blade Dragon. Again, the only issue with him is he needs Resonator, yeah. But you are breaking on hand traps, which is good because maybe you get another turn. Yeah. The times we did brick, it was hand traps. And there's one where it's legitimate we can do anything, which is fine. Because that's what the hand traps are meant to simplify, right? Which can equate to another turn, right?
I would honestly argue just playing all the Charmies, in my opinion. Just play
Yeah.
all of them.
No, that was a theory we can do as well. Okay, well, let's see.
Because
Take
you
it
just need
beyond
one
that.
of them to. You more or less need just one of them to resolve, right? Because if one gets ashed, you're kind of cooked. You're going -1, and they're building their full board anyway.
Okay, let's keep
so
going.
you just need a Charmy of somewhat to resolve.
Let's speed this up. I like how the Yugioh Pro has a restart, or the restart better. It's a lot more fluid. This is like kind of weird.
One thing I never understood why Sims don't have it is a save state.
Combo. 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 So see, our consistency is there. It's just our
It's just the
resiliency
extender.
is not there.
You just don't have the extender.
Draw, please. Draw me, please. Oh my god, okay. Okay, it's fine.
Have you is there any other level 2 engine you could play to pair with like a scrap synchron?
No, not the one that was, because we need a card that pairs with all of them. Which we went over this. Okay. So every hand we're seeing a starter, which is what we want.
It's just needing that extender.
Yeah. Okay, 5, 10. We're at 34 hands, and we've break 3 times. Okay, we'll do 50 and then we'll stop. $35. So two more hands. Okay. Last one.
Well, I think you should maybe consider actually adding a teleport engine.
We did. Were you not here, or were you paying attention? We have a build for that. Okay, so out of 50 out of 50 test hands, we brick 3 times. Okay. So the consistency is there. It's just the extender is not always there, which is why we did it this way. Now, okay, now let's do this one. It says this is how we solve that issue, right? This is how we try to solve that. This will pair with either of these. Okay, so let's see what the differences makes, because that'll make the biggest difference. Okay, so let's go 228. 8.
Yo, good luck trying to find someone who has mutant cards, by the way. I have mutant cards. I have a whole deck.
Bruh.
Because I played Thunder Dragon Mutants for a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Combo. This is funny because it works. Because this could be special summon. That's insane. That's the bricks. Okay, the first brick. Okay.
The only benefit to play Sprite is if you can play Sprite Starter, but Sprite Starter locks you, so
yeah,
it's not worth a normal. It's not worth it.
Okay, this is the extender. That's the extender. Okay, this works. My god. Okay, this works. Okay, this works. I mean, this is... of course, this is probably the worst to draw, because you would rather want to draw the number 2, because the other one can search this. Yeah? Oh, actually, you know what we can do? We can go dump the other one, revive it, special this. Oh shit, let's try that. Let's see. If we do this, we dump this. Special this. Special this. Activate this.
Make Herald.
Yeah.
Oh no, not Herald.
Yeah, we make Herald. Make Herald. Reduce Herald. That works. Oh my god. Okay, that works. Okay, this works. The extender is there. Okay, come on, bro. How much time am I gonna draw this, bro? I mean, it's combo. Extender. I hope they draw me. I'm hoping they draw me here. Okay. Rotor just becomes better when we get junk armor. That rotor just would have been busted there.
Or, Leo, is there...
Yes.
I wonder if it might still be worth playing Diabellstar.
Yeah, we tried it with the toy engine. I'll show you in a bit. Hang on. Okay, this
Bro,
works.
if we still had OSS, damn, bro.
It would have fixed a lot of things for sure.
It fixed so much.
It's weak, but it's still a starter. Because if we go first, we, you know. Okay, this works. Okay, we're gonna compare the two. Okay, this works. Okay, we only out of 16, we've bricked once. Let's see if we can beat the record. Okay. The record is 3, bricking 3 times out of 50. Oh, this is why. See, this is why teleport is so good because it pairs with all of them. Okay. What does this get me? What does this get me? Can this give me the combo somehow? Yes, it can.
What do you mean? I feel like that is full combo, no?
Yeah, it is. Synergy. That is what we want. Speeder. Oh, actually. Oh, cheers out. Does it work how I think it's gonna work? I don't think it does. Never mind. It is. It's still. Oh no, it's not. It doesn't work how I thought it doesn't work. But it was speeder. Still fine.
Barely.
What do you mean barely? It is speeder.
No, well, when we say barely, it's like yeah, it's speeder, but it's naked speeder. Leo, hear me out. Look at a card called Brain Controller.
Yeah, it searches brain control. I know, but that you can't do anything with that.
I mean, against Yummy, you can steal like maybe one of their guys.
The other guy. You can only steal stuff that can be normal or something. No.
Yeah, so you can steal like they often end on like they often leave.
Oh, Delta, let's go, Delta. Wait, were those these test sounds or the previous test sounds? Because we've only bricked once. So right, I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, 20. I have 29, and we've bricked once. Okay. We're at 30. Okay, here we go, man. Okay. Okay, combo. I think this list might be more consistent. But we still have a few hands to go. But I feel like I do like the. I feel like I do want to play the small world just for the fact that we have more outs to Charmy, but what would I cut for it though? Oh my god, his hand's busted. So 10, 20, 30. Wait, no, that isn't right. Yeah. Combo. Combo. We're almost done. We're almost done. Okay, second brick. Oh my god. But once again, it's like it's a hand trap brick. So depending on if we go first or second, we can charm it in, we can draw into combo. So this is, but still a brick. Going first. So this is like variance. Okay. Okay, yeah, this works. Normal summon into Scrap Warrior. If we go second, even better with Charmy.
Does Dragon Ravine help anything?
No, not really. Okay. I mean, I think it helped the Bystial variant. Okay, that's 5, 10, 35.
Why is Quill? Why does Anchor Bolt got to be so bad, man?
Okay, this is a brick. Okay, so we're tied now. We're tied. Well, actually, we only did 40 tests on the last one. Oh yeah, if we're going by 40, then it's out of 40 test hands, we brick to 3 times on both variants. Okay, well that should be fine. Yeah, they're the same then. Just based off this data, right? Yeah, I mean, I guess the difference would be that the other build has more outs versus Charmy than this one does. And this one is more resilient than the other one is. So I guess it's they're both strong in different aspects. Because, like, if I want to add the outs to Charmies, I have to take something out for the small worlds, which would mean it's either engine requirements, or tech choices. Right? Like,
Honestly, kind of do like the Radiant Typhoon package. Honestly, they seem like fairly solid as like just bodies.
yeah. Exodio's list go by like 10 hands of 10, right? We did 40. so we break 3 times. So it's not even that bad. That's not that bad. Like, our dead hands were not that bad. Like, we probably bricked once out of 20, right? So that's double the data there. But once again, that's just like it's relative, right? It'll depend whether you go first or second. So that's why it's kind of like a bit odd to abide by that logic. That's why I gravitate towards more an intuitive approach, where if it makes sense, then it should be okay, right? The intent is there. Mitsurugi, that one's not going to brick at all, because that one has a supplementary engine.
We're just trying to boost pure.
Yeah, like this one's fine. The Mitsu variant's fine. Like, you look at watch. We'll just to entertainment, just to humor the whole topic. 241. But once again, this is utilizing a top tier engine. So you have to take that into account, right? Obviously, it's going to elevate it, so it'll be that much better. Imagine it bricks more. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy if it bricks more. Okay, yeah. Try this. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, because you're always gonna have combo. Because is it? Are we going to like determine whether we can play with Mitsu and Synchron, or are we just gonna determine whether they can play with any engine? Because obviously we're gonna draw either or, right?
You want to be able to play it all.
Yeah. Because but then actually, this build can if you play Mitsu, you're getting access to Synchron. So I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So as long as you can play, I guess. But yeah, I think this will be far more consistent. I think it seems like it. Okay, so this is okay. Let's just try. Let's just see. Let's just see the difference in engines. Oh my god, this is double charmy, bro. Is there like a shortcut or a hotkey that we can use to just rematch? No, huh?
I don't think so.
Okay, we'll do the same. We'll do the same amount. I don't think this deck's gonna brick. It just doesn't seem like it's possible. But I still need to find this engine, man. That's the thing. I still gotta get it. Because if I had access to this engine, I would play this variant. But and I would need to get the Guild Doggers as well.
Guild Dogger's been reprinted so many times. I'm sure it's somewhere in some bulk.
Yeah, but people's bulks is just like anywhere. Okay, we have that. This just seems like, what the fuck? This is if we base it off consistency and resiliency, this one takes it. Like, it's gonna be this one. But it's understandable. We're playing a top tier engine. Look, I just don't see this deck bricking. Like, I just don't see it.
You know what you can consider? Like what's it? Illusion Apprentice, whatever it's called. The one that searches illusion monsters. It's kind of like Bellstar, but for illusions.
Yeah. Nightmare's Apprentice.
Yeah.
We are at 11. No bricks yet. So
you're kind of not drawing the playable side of Mitsu, though.
What do you mean? This is playable.
Yeah, but like, no, I'm talking more like you're not seeing like prayers, you're not seeing Hapikiri.
Yeah, but there's ways to it though. That's the thing. It's either we see Synchron or see that. That's what I was referring to. Like, doesn't matter what we play as long as we get to play, no? Okay, we're at 15. No, 14. We're at 15. No bricks yet. $16, no brick. $17, no brick.
Why aren't we running pre-prep?
18, no brick. 19, no brick.
Lose to an Ash.
20, no brick. Huh? What happened?
I'm just calling that what like how many of these hands play past one hand trap?
We go 21. No, but that's subjective, right? That'll be determined by whether they have the interaction or not. We're just playing off ourselves in a vacuum. How? Because like, one thing you don't want to do is lose to yourself. If you can't even play, what's the point, right? So that's what we're accounting for. We're disregarding the fact that, oh yeah, it loses to one hand trap, but that's not the point. Because it might not even have a hand trap. The point is your deck consistent enough to consistently play, even if it's just one starter, even if it's just one play, right? Because you don't even have that, you're going to be bricking and you're just going to pass. Shit, I lost count. No, it's 22. Okay. 23, no brick. Yeah, I don't see this deck bricking. Like it just seems like no way.
Is there any deck that burns in the format?
It's not bricking. Deck that burns? I don't know.
Like that just because my only concern was always like, because to use Gale Doggo you have to burn what, like
That's the algorithm. That's the thing I told you. Like it's just gonna give it to you, but you have to just build it intuitively and not just rely solely on the frequency in which you're drawing these one-offs that should not be in your hand.
the only downside of a Gildagra is that it's not a normal summon effect, which is super important. I think right now, like it needs to be an on summon effect.
20, 25, 27, 27, and no bricks yet. Because remember, Mitsu engine gets you to Synchron.
Huh?
Mitsu engine gets you to Synchron. Okay, 28.
Mitsu engine gets you to Synchron.
Oh, you weren't here when we did it? Did you come late?
And what are you playing, Zombie Vampire?
No. We're playing this. What one Habikiri gets you to Mitsu engine? I mean to Synchron engine. Okay, so that's 24. Okay, yeah. So we are at 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. All right, 10 more. The last 10. If we break in this last 10, bro, no way. Okay, combo. Do this. Come on. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this deck bricks. Like, you always have a play. Like, if Mitsu didn't bridge into Synchron, then we wouldn't... No, this works. Does this work? We drew both the names. Can we bridge into Synchron with this?
Do you have enough to ritual summon something from deck?
Yeah, we have the Night Sword Serpent thing. We have... No, I think we can get... I think... Okay, so we do this first. That'll give us access to... Okay, wait, fine. We're at 35 then. Yeah. It'd be Saji search prayers into Mitsu. Is that what it is? Or is it... Because this is basically Habikiri, no? Oh, just Aramasa. Because that gives you Habikiri. Oh, yeah, because we have the body on field already. Right? Yeah, so 30. Okay, yeah, 35. Okay, cool. Wait, no. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Wait, no, I'm on 34. This is 34. Oh, no. I forgot. Yeah, this is 34. 34. Yeah, it's 34. 34. Okay. Then this is 35. Yeah. Yeah, this is 35 right now. Okay, 35 more. 40. Okay. 4 more. Yeah, I don't think this is like bricks, bro. Like, it's possible to brick, but it's highly unlikely. All right, last 2. Yeah, because this is combo, right? This is combo. Wait, is this combo, Doc? Because this just gives you Habikiri, no? Or is the summoning off of this important? You don't think it is? Holy shit. Okay, let's see. This might be a brick. Oh my god, we finally bricked. Oh shit. Okay, let's try to make it work. Let's try to make it work. Okay. So let's see. I can summon his back. Hang on, let me try. So we do this. We tribute this to summon it back. This will add Habikiri. We special this here. This will add back this. We then go... I think we special this to tribute this off of this. To keep the level 4 on field. Get access to... Hang on. No, I think it might be okay. They give us this. That gets this ritual. We tribute this. That give us that. Let's give us... No, it's fine. Yeah, no, it's fine. This is fine. We get a ritual now. And we tribute it. Yeah, no, we're fine. Ritual from hand, right? Is it from hand?
Ritual from hand gets you the serpent.
Yeah, right. So rituals on. Yeah. So we get this and our masa. Yeah, no, this works. It's fine. I was like, did we break? No way. This should be a way to do this. Oh, we can actually add a spell, bro. We can actually add a spell with that guy. Can I? No, I can't. But I could. Yeah, okay, it works. Yeah, it works. So yeah, okay. So that's what, 44? No, how many was the delta? 38. 38. That's 38. 38. Okay, let's see. 2 more. 40 test hands, no brick. Okay. Last one. Fuck, we bricks! Did we brick? Oh, no. Okay, now Aramasa's combo. Holy shit. That's how we finally bricked. Okay, so this is fine. Because this gives a Habikiri, right? Habikiri? I thought we bricked the last one, bro. Hang on, let me just be certain. If we played pre-prep, yeah, of course. Because this is Habikiri, right? Habikiri, full combo, right? Yeah. Okay, now, because we have the body. So if we start our monsters full combo, because that means that you get the 2 bodies regardless, right? That's what it is? Then you go this. This will get prayers, I'm assuming. Yeah, okay, yeah, we get it. Because then prayers we do this and serpent. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, this is combo. Yeah, so 50. No, I mean 40. So out of 40 test hands, so we did three different variants, and they all did pretty good. I think this one did the best by far, for sure. So, of course, it'll increase our consistency if we play prep. Right? If you play prep, it'll increase it much better, right? But of course, you have to make cuts. What would you cut? You know, what would you actually cut? And that's the difficult part. But we also did for this one, out of 40 test hands, we bricked 3 times, and this had the same consistency as this one and this one had the same consistency. Out of 40 test hands, we bricked 3 times. But yeah, the Mitsu variant is going to be by far the most consistent. By far. Oh, hell yeah. The Meister will increase the consistency so much as well.
Meister changes the deck entirely. Like
Yeah.
it means you probably max out Converter now as well.
Not necessarily. But yeah.
Well, think about it. Converter can add the junk armor as well, so then Meister can be used to search something else if you want.
Yeah. Okay, well, this one's a bit different. The Bystial variant is a bit different. Fuck. I don't because fuck, am I already gonna know the fucking 40 is almost time to go? I think we'll leave it at that. I think we'll just leave it at that, and then yeah, because we're trying to find a deck to play for locals on Saturday.
I do want to hope to play this deck for locals, but I heard there was shipment delays, so I'm not sure if it's actually going to come in time.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks so much. Yeah, so it's if I can somehow get a hold of the Mitsu engine and the Gildogras, I'll take this. I'll be taking this variant to locals on Saturday. But if I don't, it's gonna be between this variant, this variant, this variant, or this variant. Which I'm leaning towards more this one and this one. I'm leaning towards those a bit more. Because they're not there's a bit of skill expression in the way you can sequence out your turn, right? It's not just like summon righty. Do they have an interaction? No, then full combo, right? It's not like that. Whereas these are like more. They have more pivot options. You can like sequence your hand in a manner where you can attempt to capitalize. Whereas these ones are more streamlined. They're meant to be more consistent, but they're not resilient, which is my concern, right? Yeah, it's this Saturday. So I'll be recording my games as well. So I'll give you guys gameplay. So instead of me commentating over OCG gameplay, we have it here now. So I'll be recording. I'll be doing the side and the POV perspective live duel. And then I'll be commentating as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that because it's been a while since I've recorded live duels with Synchron. But anyway, that's going to bring the stream to an end. Thank you guys for joining me. It was fun doing those damn test hands, but we have one more day tomorrow to try to figure this out and try to optimize them. But hopefully you enjoyed the stream. And thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Yes. Oh my God.